In this video, I'm going to analyse my golf swing data using ChatGPT. I'm going to ask it to compare my data that I feed into ChatGPT with that of tour professionals on both the LPGA and the PGA tours, as well as other amateur golfers. And I'm going to ask it to let me know what I'm doing well and perhaps what I could do better. Then I'm going to finish off with asking it to produce a personal plan that I can work on over the next few weeks, which will hopefully help me to improve my golf swing. Now, recently I took delivery of a brand new FlightScope Mevo Gen 2 launch monitor, and I've already created a video where I unbox it, set it up and use it for the first time. And if you're interested in seeing that, I'll put the link to that in the description below. But we're going to take the data that I have collected from a couple of practice sessions using the FlightScope, and we're going to feed that into ChatGPT to see what comes out. Now, I have my laptop set up here, I've got the FlightScope data on screen, and I'm going to take you through the process in real time using the data from FlightScope and ChatGPT. So first of all, you will see that I have my session here where I hit around about 7 shots with a 6-iron and about 20 shots, I believe, with an 8-iron. So I've purposely used it enough to gather a fair amount of data. Now, the FlightScope Mevo Gen 2 basically gives you access to around about 18 or 20 different parameters, including things like ball speed, club speed, smash factor, carry, total yardage, roll, spin, the list goes on and on. So what I'm going to do is I am going to export this table here to a CSV, which I've already done. And you'll see I've got all of this data here. So we have the headings along the top. We've got my 6-iron down here. We've got the average and the deviation for 6-iron. Then we have all the 8-iron data here. And again, we've got average and deviation for the 8-irons. Now I'm going to go back into this browser here. And within ChatGPT, I have already written the prompt. Now, when it comes to writing prompts for the likes of ChatGPT or Gemini or general generative AI tools, obviously the more effort and detail you put into the prompt, the better the output. I've purposely just kept this one fairly basic, and we can always tweak the prompts as we go through, but I'm basically going to ask it to analyze the data that I provide it with for my 6-iron and 8-iron, and I want to know what I'm doing well, what I'm not doing so well, and what I can do to focus on my ball striking. I'd also like it to compare the data to that of the PGA Tour professionals, the LPGA Tour professionals, and other amateur golf data. And I've said in here that I am a 7 handicap golfer. So I'm going to jump back now to my spreadsheet. I'm going to copy all of this data here, and we're going to now paste that into ChatGPT. So that information is in there. Now I'm obviously doing this all in real time. So we'll press this button here to essentially ask it to start giving me some information, and we'll see what it comes back with. Now, I think the important thing to note with these generative AI tools is, as most people know, you do have to be quite careful about the information that it provides you with. So I'm curious to know if there's anybody who's watching this video who is quite clued up in golf data, golf swings, or any coaching professionals. Comment below and let me know what you think about the data that this is sending back to me. In fact, if you're generally just curious and you have a bit of knowledge, let me know in the comments below whether or not you think that this is accurate, or if you think it's feeding me a lot of rubbish. And whilst you're there, feel free to hit those like and subscribe buttons. So first of all, let's take a look at what it's saying here. So we have summary of findings. So this is basically a quick statistics, a statistical overview. So it's chosen some of the metrics here from this data that I have given it. So this is the Excel data I fed in. And what it has done is it's taken the metrics of ball speed, club speed, smash factor, carry distance, spin rate, and launch angle. And you'll see here in this column we have my 6-iron averages, then we have my 8-iron averages, and then it is giving me the PGA Tour average approximate, LPGA Tour average approximate, and that of a 7 to 10 handicap golfer. Now, I've got to be honest, I don't know where it is getting this information from. Normally when I use these sort of tools, I'll ask it to provide sources, but I'm going to do it a little bit later because I'm curious to know where exactly it is getting these averages from, particularly these handicap statistics, which are probably quite hard to get, but they may be coming from TrackMan, FlightScope, or other providers of launch monitors. But anyway, so what do we see here? So my ball speed 110 with the 6-iron. You can see the PGA Tour average is 130 mile an hour versus mine of 110. LPGA Tour mine is a little bit closer to, and I'm basically bang in the middle here of a 7 to 10 handicap. Club speed 85.6, which is right in the middle again with a 7 to 10 handicap, a little bit higher than LPGA but also lower than PGA Tour. In terms of the smash factor here, we're a little bit less than actually every category with the 6-iron and also with the 8-iron. And in terms of carry distance, 6-iron 152.4, which is pretty much in the middle of the 7 to 10, right on the kind of the number there for LPGA, and obviously miles off the PGA Tour. That's why I'm not on tour. In terms of the spin rate, I did use the aluminium stickers on the balls when I was tracking these shots. I have ordered RCT balls to hopefully improve the spin rate numbers. But you'll see here the spin rate is a little bit lower than pretty much most of the PGA Tour and the LPGA, but in the bracket for the 7 to 10. And then you'll see here for launch angle, it's telling me that I'm launching a little bit lower than, a little bit higher than the PGA Tour and similar to LPGA. Now you'll see here, I've gone through that table, but actually as I scroll down, it has told me here with this big tick what I am doing well. So first of all, number one, club head speed and distance. So it tells me that my club head speed is on a par or slightly better than the average 7 handicap golfer, especially with my 6-iron. Carry distance are consistent with mid-single handicap golfers, mid-single digit should I say, and my 6-iron at 152 yards and 8-iron at 130 are both solid. In terms of number two, for launch conditions, it's telling me that mine are very appropriate for both clubs. 6-iron at 16.5 is ideal for maximising carry apparently, and my 8-iron at 20.9 provides good height and aids stopping power. Now number three, shot height, your peak heights of 72 foot with the 6-iron and 8-iron at 75 are great for green holding irons. So next up, it's going to tell me here, what are my areas for improvement? So first of all, inconsistent strike quality. That's a smash factor, which I could see already was a little bit low. With my 6-iron, it was 1.29, which it says is decent, but is quite a little bit off of the elite PGA Tour or elite golfer. 8-iron, 1.22, below ideal, indicating inconsistent strikes. And it's telling me below that I may be missing the centre of the face, particularly with my 8-iron. There's also a large standard deviation in ball speed for my 8-iron, which is plus or minus 7.9 miles an hour, which suggests mishits. And it has given me, helpfully, a little focus underneath which says focus on centred strikes. Try to try impact tape or foot spray to confirm the face contact. So I have actually got some tins of impact spray, which you spray in the club, and it shows you where the impact point is, which I'm going to start using with my new FlightScope. Number two, face control and directional misses. You're averaging left of target. 6-iron lateral deviation of 8.1 yards, 6.6 left with the 8-iron. These shot shapes and spin axis indicate that I am basically hitting many pulls and draws, sometimes pull draws, meaning that either I am starting the ball left, so the face closed to the path, or swinging slightly from in to out with a closed face. Now I can almost guarantee that I am not swinging in to out because my swing is predominantly over the top or out to in. Something that I do quite often though is I am quite handsy and turn the ball over quite a bit, which you'll see in some of my lessons which are available on this YouTube channel. So I've recorded the whole lessons and you can see in those videos that that is something that I have struggled with in the past. So I basically close the club face quite considerably. So it's telling me here as a focus point, club face awareness. Check the grip, alignment and try drills for face control. Number three, spin rate management. 6-iron, 5,397 RPM, which is on the low side, especially for high launch and height. This could lead to longer rollouts and less green stopping ability, especially if the greens are a little bit firmer. So predominantly, let's say, links greens. 8-iron spin rate of just over 6,000 is borderline acceptable, but we're looking to really be 6.5 to 7.5. So we're pretty much potentially about 1,000 off of the ideal there. Focus point, improve compression and groove/ball quality. Now I have used Titleist Pro V1s when I have been hitting in my net with the Gen 2, and those are pretty much brand new, so the ball is actually of good quality. The grooves on my irons are pretty good as well. It says here, if using a practice ball or dirty grooves, spin may read low. I'll be interested to see how well the RCT balls work and if that spin rate improves when I get those delivered. Finally, number 4, big outliers, particularly with my 8-iron. So a couple of shots, for example, shots 8 and 9 with the 8-iron had massive drop-offs. So the ball speed between 72 and 89 miles an hour, carry between 80 and 108 yards, spin axis 24.5, which was basically a slice on one shot. So it says this inflates your standard deviation and highlights a few serious mishits. Well, we're all partial to a few mishits. Focus point, consistency, there may be mishits from fatigue or lack of focus, which I've got to be honest, I am somebody who does not focus anywhere near enough when I am hitting golf balls. So I think really building in a thorough pre-shot routine, even when practicing, rather than just simply hitting ball after ball, will be helpful. And it says cut session short when the quality drops. So if I start shanking the ball or I can see the distance is dropping, it might be time to call it a day. So then you'll see below that we now have suggested practice focus areas. Number 1, strike location. Use foot spray or impact tape to ensure center face contact. So that's an easy one to work on. I can basically spray before I hit each shot. Because I'm hitting on a mat, I don't have to worry about any dew on the ground like on the grass or that coming off. So you can get a good few hits out of one spray. Practice slow motion swings, focusing on sweet spot awareness. So I guess even doing things like half swings and trying to work on my position and making sure that I'm impacting the ball in the center would be useful. Number 2, face control drills. Use alignment sticks or a mirror to check alignment. Now I did actually buy a mirror to take out and put outside so that I can check my positioning. One of the things that became apparent again in those earlier lessons, which I'll drop in the comments area below and in the description, is that I sometimes have the ball a little bit too far back on my in my ball position. So it's something I've been trying to move it further forward, which may impact those numbers negatively. Do gate drills or start line drills to fine-tune face and path control. So as somebody who often swings out to in, this might be something that I want to address. Number 3, tempo and rhythm. Variability in ball speed or club speed suggests occasional overswinging. I absolutely routinely overswing. Quite often the shaft is way past here and I've been trying to get it more to this point here. So that is a definite for me. That's something that I think there will be inconsistencies if my length of my swing and the speed changes quite often. And number 3 there, part 2 of number 3, practice with a metronome. So you definitely get lots of tempo apps. So that's something that maybe I should be looking into. And I own a DeWiz swing analyzer, which actually gives you an option to try and work on your tempo. So I might bring that out of retirement. Number 4, spin control. Try to improve spin through better compression. I definitely don't compress the ball properly. That's another thing that is on my list of many things to improve. Ball first contact. I think I hit quite a lot of shots heavy and definitely don't hit the ball first most of the times. Clean grooves, which is an easy thing to make sure of on the practice net there and the practice mat. And premium golf balls, which I already use. So I suspect the actual contact is what's bringing this back slightly. Finally, number 5, work on shot pattern tightening. So your average dispersion is left biased. Now I have noticed this when I've been looking at my shot shape on the FlightScope app. Often it is off to the left. So it says you're consistently pulling or drawing. You might be aiming too far to the right to compensate. So recheck alignment and aid. Now what's good here, it has ideal benchmarks for a 7 handicap. So it basically gives me what I should be hitting in terms of smash factor, spin, and things like the dispersion and ball speed. So it's giving me the numbers there which are ideal. And then it gives me some final thoughts here. So you're very close to elite amateur numbers, which I don't quite believe, but who knows. The key differences are strike consistency, face path control, and spin optimization. Fixing these areas will result in tighter dispersion, more consistent carry distances, better green holding ability. And then it says, let me know if you'd like a breakdown of drills for specific issues, chart graphs of your dispersion and spin, and a comparison with specific pros or top amateurs. I have absolutely no idea where it can get that kind of data when comparing it to specific pros. But what I can do is ask it now to generate a plan. So I'm going to go into the Ask Anything box and I'm going to say, can you create a personal plan for me based on the above points where I can work 2 to 3 times per week for the winter months of the year to help improve these numbers. Let's just quickly fix that little issue. We'll run that and we'll see what it gives me. So here it says a personalised winter training plan, 2 to 3 sessions per week, tailored to my data and goals. We're going to focus on strike consistency, face path control, spin compression, dispersion control, and swing repeatability. Assuming your winter practice remains outside, basically my net and my Gen 2, this is structured for 45 to 75 minute sessions. And then this is what it's basically given me. So 2 to 3 sessions a week, rotating 3 keen session types, so strike, face control, distance and spin control. Duration 45 to 75 minutes per session, and we're going to hit in the net with the FlightScope Mevo Gen 2. And then you'll see here, it's basically given me weeks 1 to 4, session A, B and C, so this is the first, second and third session of each week. Strike and smash on week 1 first of all, then face control and shot shape, then distance and spin control. From there, it's then telling me what to do. So it's going to ask me to basically hit 6 irons and 8 irons, and I'm trying to get those smash targets. It has then given me some tools that I need. So we need some foot spray or impact stickers, which I have, alignment sticks, and the Mevo Plus, in my case, Gen 2 for feedback. So I've got all of these things. It's even built in a little warm-up. So we've got 5 minutes to warm up, we've got strike drills, we've got smash tracking, and we've got the feedback loop. And then it says end the session with 10 consistent center strikes. Might be a bit challenging. Session B, and then it's got face control, and you'll see I'm not going to go through all these, but as I scroll down, it has basically given me lots and lots of information for each one. And then we've got some optional sessions which include things like tempo and rhythm sessions. We've got combined test and challenge day. So use the Mevo combine mode or create a target-based scoring game. So there are games on the Mevo Gen 2 that you can take part in, which is good fun. And then you'll see it's given me some equipment and setup notes. So clean your grooves, make sure using premium balls, use a foam ball or T-gates, and also ensure that my net and mat are set up properly, which of course I believe they are. And then it's even given me a little tracking sheet here. So I'll scroll down a little bit further and you'll see we can ask it to create a PDF of this plan. So I'll say, please create a PDF of this plan for me. And then it's going to go and do that for me. Or in this case, it says here, I'll need to log into ChatGPT to get to produce this. So if I want to, I can go and do that. But as you can see, I have fed that FlightScope data in, and I've gone through this fairly quickly, but it has given me a huge amount of information. As I said earlier in the video, sometimes it's difficult for amateur golfers, myself included, to actually know if this is correct. But certainly going through and with the reasoning, it is quite clear that a lot of the reasoning behind those numbers is probably down to things like lack of club face control, off-centre strikes, things like not compressing the ball. So actually I think what it's given me there is a lot of really valuable information. But as I said, I would be interested to know from anyone who does have a little more experience in analysing golf data, especially from launch monitors, whether or not you believe that this actually does make sense. So drop your comment in the comments area below, or if you have any questions or ideas or input about this video, drop into the comments area as well, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. But hopefully you have found this video to be interesting. If you have, hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe to the channel because I've got loads more FlightScope Mevo and practice videos coming up. And if you enjoyed this video, then hopefully you'll enjoy this video here.